couple months ago, I was online looking at the net worth of a lot of millionaires, CEOs, corporation owners, and heads of corporations, celebrities that spread the gamut from rappers, singers, actors, performers, sports figures, and so forth. And I was not, excuse me, I was not flabbergasted, and I was not overwhelmed to find out just how much many of these people were worth, if you will. I was more uh, frustrated, and this is not my first time thinking about this. I was more frustrated at how much they do for themselves and not for humanity. In all fairness, let me say this. There are celebrities, there are moguls, multi-millionaires, and even some billionaires that contribute to various charities. In all fairness, there are some that do this. But when we look at the amount of money of all of these people collectively are worth, why is our country, more specifically America, not seeing more love, if you will, for lack of a better word, maybe that is the appropriate word, love, spread towards humanity? Not just abroad, of course, but specifically here. Now, Bill Gates used to be the guy, self-made billionaire, Microsoft and so forth. Things have changed. He's not at the top of the list anymore, according to, I think, Forbes and some other analysts. Now it's, I believe, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Him, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. There are a few others up there. 100 million, excuse me, let me slash that. Not 100 million. 100 billion, 200 billion, 250 billion, 35 billion. And then you have it trickle down to like your Oprah Winfrey, your Jay-Z, and your Tyler Perry's, and so forth. The have and the have-nots. Now, pardon me for a moment. I'm sorry. I've heard it said before, in no uncertain terms by some, that just because someone has attained a level of financial prowess, if you will, or prosperity, wealth, they are not obligated to give anything to anybody or anyone. I get it. I get it. Real quick. You were born, many, with nothing. And ironically, you live this world hoarding all of this money, this material stuff, and then you die with nothing. It's passed on to someone else, or someone else takes it. It's interesting to me. It just is. Especially black entertainers. I'm trying to be nice. Black entertainers. I personally, when I look at, and I'm not trying to ride on the coattail of Jim Crow ideology and slavery and this kind of stuff, but we all know the history of this country and its injustices to black people. And I will use that term for this video, black people. And I'm reluctant to say African Americans because I don't have an African history, not specifically. But I just say black people because that's what we all seem to be acquainted with. It's the familiar term. But mind you, footnote, I know black is not a race. There's no such thing as a black country, and we are the people of black or what have you. I know that doesn't refer to a nationality, is what I'm saying. But black people that have been fortunate, and I won't say blessed necessarily, but have been fortunate to amass millions and even billions of dollars in their particular crafts, industries, businesses, endeavors, and so forth. Knowing the history of our people on this planet, and more respectively here in North America, I would think when you have made it as a black individual, in whatever venue, in whatever area of life, whatever vocation, I would think that should ring loud with you and resonate with you to try and help other black people. I'm not saying give them a handout per se. Help to educate them so that they can perhaps come up out of their own present conditions. What about schools? What about educational institutions? For us, I'm speaking collectively. What about that? What's wrong with that? You have all this money. Every time I see a rapper on television, I'm sorry. It's wonderful that you made it. It's wonderful that you have a fan base. It's wonderful that you're on the cover of magazines and in commercials and on television and in movie parts roles. That you can travel the world. That you can live in a mansion or several different mansions in different countries. That's wonderful. But what price did you pay? What did you give up to maintain that position? What happened to your people? Now, there's going to be some that say, well, you're talking about a handout. No, I'm not. I already said that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is this. I believe that a lot of black entertainers have forgotten where we all came from, where we all are, and where we all are kept in terms of progress in America. Now you can say, well, there are black people in this category and that category that are wealthy, that have made it, and so on and so forth. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the percentage versus those that didn't make it, you're always going to have your poor, you're always going to have your wealthy in every area. But speaking of blacks, you're going to have your poor, your dirt poor, you're going to have your wealthy, you're going to have everyone in between. What are you leaving as a legacy? Black entertainers, black people who have these multi-million dollar and billion-dollar net worths. What are you leaving as a legacy to your people just by virtue of what your people have gone through and continue to go through? It's been said that slavery was abolished in 1865. Slavery has never been abolished. Slavery exists on a different level. There's a different methodology used today. Slavery still exists. You just get paid for it now. But even that's controlled to keep you in a certain place. Please do your due diligence and your own research. I'm not beating up on anyone. I'm just trying to, as Dane Calloway says, get you to think. I want you to think. We need to remember that all of us are a human family upon this earth, irrespective of race, color, creed, whatever your nationality, even your sexual orientation. We are all God's people, every last one of us. We must also realize that there are certain segments of our population and our society has been forgotten about. And as time progresses, the years, the decades, even hundreds of years, as time progresses, it's not going to change what was that has caused what is to be. Now, I started out talking about people's net worth. I want to throw this in here. I've said this before as well. It's not what you do and take to the grave with you that matters. It's what you leave behind, ladies and gentlemen. You can't take your money with you. You can't take your mansions and your yachts and your gold and silver and your palaces. You can't take it with you when you die. You know, this is a heart message. It has to come from here. Your heart. If it's not who you are, it's not who you are. But for those of you of any nationality right now that's listening to me, if you hear this message, don't forget who you are. If you have any semblance of humanity in your soul, don't forget. Especially black people. We have rappers all over the place. And black people are the largest spender in this country. Over $1 trillion we spend in this country, America, annually. Everybody's benefiting from it, but you benefiting from you. That's a problem. Now, I understand Little League, baseball, basketball teams, and you supporting your local schools and so forth, but if you are a millionaire, a multimillionaire, black entertainers, black politicians, black people of prominence in this country, you can go outside of where you are a little bit deeper to help your people come up. And it's not always writing a book. because a lot of us collectively don't read. Make something physical, put it in place, and say, well, it doesn't have to be called black this and black that, because that tends to deter people in general. They just back away or acquiesce. But make something physical, something tangible that's going to benefit blacks for many generations to come, starting now. I'm just saying, what is your legacy? Black folks, what's your legacy? What are you leaving behind? I did all of this, whatever it was, for me. Look at me. Look at the big me that I am. Look at all of the movies that I've made. Look at all of the home runs that I've hit in the baseball industry. Look at all the dunks and all of the shots I made in basketball. Look at all of the touchdowns that I made in football. Look at all of the songs that I have and what place I find myself on the charts. Just look at me and how the world sees me. I'm a big this, I'm a big that, I'm a big I am. I'm a boss, I'm a king. For real? For real, for real. Are you really a king? The real king is there. He sits high and he looks low. And he canvasses the universe and he knows all of us, every hue. The scripture says, the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the sea, and all that in them is. If you go back to Genesis, in the beginning, God, Elohim, Yah, created the heavens and the earth. We're just a speck of sand. Understand that. Comprehend this. Black man, white man, Asian man, Arab man, Jewish man, German man, Russian man. Whatever your nationality, understand, comprehend this. That at the end of the day, we are all human beings, and we all are part of the human race, and that we're all, at some point, going to leave here. The most important thing is, what do you leave behind for humanity? That was all I had to say. Think on these things. This is Brother Teacher.